next case led to a manhunt that took days, while an entire city was thrown into a panic.
Part of me is grateful that she's no longer a threat, but then also as a mother, I'm like, she's dead.
On the surface, Sol Pais looked like any high-achieving
The
kid that surfs in
dissolved
Florida.
girl.
She was born on February 1st, 2001. Her father, Edgardo Pais, was a musician and encouraged Sol to express herself through art. Now in 2015, she enrolled in Miami Beach Senior High, where she was on the honor roll and took advanced placement art studio classes. Now despite her academic success, classmates still nicknamed her Dark Stars because she always wore black, baggy clothes, constantly wore headphones, and hardly spoke to anyone. Sol kept her distance because she found that most conversations with other students were unbearably surface level. But what most people didn't know was that the dark cloud that seemed to follow Sol around also filled her inner workings, as evidenced by one of the entries she made in her journal, which read, "If I leave this earth today, I will leave knowing nobody knew the real me. Nobody will know who I really was, or what I had to offer, and what my thoughts were, and that's possibly my worst fear." Her journal entry was filled with the emotional distress about her inability to form.
Bro, I just want to say people need to go out and learn better ways to like express how they feel about stuff for real. Like talk about it on the internet, go talk to somebody else about it. Like go, I don't know, dude, anything else but this shit.
Connections. But instead of hanging out with her classmates, she spent time drawing, usually with themes of witchcraft, Satanism, or skeletal figures. And when she wasn't drawing, Sol would be busy watching videos about true crime, like you right now. Online, she lurked on a Tumblr page called the True Crime Community, or TCC, a corner of the internet where people bonded over their fascination with mass shooters and killers. The page contained journal excerpts from killers, and even fan edits of them set to music. And through the TCC, Sol met a friend named Anna. They shared the
Fan
same
edits. Okay, see that's the thing, guys. I think that this shit gets put out there and people there's like two sides of the spectrum, right? There's people who like things because they want to know what the worst things in people are, and then there's people who like these things because they admire some of the worst things people are. And I don't know, it's just fucking crazy. It's crazy the difference. And it's like a fine line in between, I feel like, and it makes everybody that watches stuff like this kind of look bad a little bit sometimes. But like if you get it, you get it. But like bro, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
TCC, Sol met a friend named Anna. They shared the same fascination with Eric and
Of
Dylan
course,
that
these
is so
guys are
common in
involved.
stories like these. Now, as Sol's friend, what drew Anna to Eric and Dylan was their relatability, not the violence.
It was like, since I was dealing with depression at the time, Dylan's writing was like just really interesting to me. It was like beautiful and depressing at the same time. I just really was sad for like how he became, because he was like, I think he was like really cute.
So Sol
Okay, that's kind of weird, but there's a lot of depressing and relatable things that are also beautiful at the same time that aren't written by people who did heinous things. You feel me? Like, that's true.
and Anna started exchanging images, video edits, and journals, and this shared obsession led to something deeper, as they started opening up about their depression, loneliness, and the feeling that they didn't belong anywhere. And eventually, they took their friendship offline, meeting often just to hang out and talk. And soon, Sol and Anna would begin to treat Columbine like a fandom.
I kind of like the way that they dress, which is kind of like weird, but I think that they have
Super
like a
weird.
pretty cool like style. That's what like Soul tried to like replicate their style a little bit.
Inspired by Eric and Dylan's journals, Sol started a blog called Dissolved Girls, and on the front page, above a drawing of the Grim Reaper, she wrote, "The purpose of the site is for me to give insight into the thoughts I rarely, if ever, share with others, while remaining somewhat anonymous. Everything from journal entries to personal interests. I want to leave a record of myself before I, well, ... In one post she wrote, "Maybe the problem was that I felt I owed something to the world, and then no matter what I did, it just didn't seem like enough. I would do nothing, and consequently I would feel horrible about myself. And then I started realizing that maybe it wasn't me that owed the world something. It was the world that owed something to me. For all the stuff I've been through, for everything I felt that I never imagined would be possible to feel.
No.
Maybe the world owed me some flipping compensation for..."
Yo, sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but like the world didn't do this to this person. It's like there are specific people who maybe made this person feel this way. And like you can think in your brain, like, oh, those people were wrong to me. Like this shouldn't have happened. This was the wrong way that things went. Like you can acknowledge that, but like they don't owe you anything. You owe it to yourself to figure out how to deal with that shit. And you owe it to yourself to be something more than what they made you feel like. But this is crazy. And nobody owes the world anything either. I feel like we should just go out and try to be good people and put something good out there. But that's for us too. You know what I mean? Like I think there's a different kind of thinking that goes behind like, oh, I want to be good to other people to put something positive out into the world rather than like I want to be good to people to like make myself feel better only. But like when you do something good for people and you just know that you're doing something right, it can be a fulfilling feeling as well to do those kinds of acts at the same time. It's a complicated thing, but this is like a really mixed, twisted, distorted reality that this person was obviously making in their head. I mean, clearly. I think a lot of people that get like this do that to themselves.
Making me feel like the loneliest person to ever live. Now, to her classmates, she was just a quiet girl, but her posts, of course, told a different story, that she was genetically doomed to isolation. In her journal entries, she would write a note saying,
Genetically
"I defiled the
doomed.
earth with my ignoble suffering." And to make matters worse, by February of 2018, Sol and Anna began to grow apart. And then on the 14th of February, when the Parkland school shooting happened in Florida, Anna went quiet. Their relationship became strained, because upon learning that the Parkland shooter was inspired by Columbine, Anna decided to distance herself from their fandom, because the mass shootings made her uncomfortable idolizing Columbine. Sol, however, did not.
I just don't think it really hit her like as much as it should have, because I mean, she was so into Columbine, and she just like at one point started excusing like what Eric and Dylan did.
Even
Whoa.
without Anna, she would make attempts to get closer to Eric, like this ritual on her blog. "I call upon the spirit of the peaceful dead. If Eric Harris is among you and would speak to me, then be with